Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Instead of stopping the stupid spending, Democrats attack the guy who's exposing it. I think the taxpayers of this country would just as soon we stop spending their money on dumb things. Like what was the example from USAID, some transgender comic in Ireland spending money on Bert and Ernie and Big Bird on Baghdad TV. I think they would prefer we not do that. Elon Musk is exposing in the federal government exactly what he exposed at Twitter when he purchased Twitter. What do we find out there? Big government was pressuring big tech to censor Americans. And you don't have to take my word for it. We had the Twitter files. Oh, and we also had someone else in big tech send a letter to this committee and tell us exactly what they were doing.
I was surprised to hear my friend from Ohio talking about a transgender comic book from I can't remember which country, but if there's a form of government expenditure taking place that we have a problem with, isn't that why the congressional oversight function exists? Don't we have a whole oversight committee, which you serve on, which I've served on, which can do that? Do we really need to hire a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk to go out and do it for us? We're about to enter into a budget process right now. We can deal with it ourselves.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And have you ever noticed how Jim Jordan never actually does anything? The man has been in Congress for 16 damn years and hasn't passed a single bill. Not one. But somehow he's always on television, always holding a hearing, always screaming about government corruption like he's some outsider exposing it. When in reality, he is the damn government.
And to understand the fundamental difference the left has with us conservatives. Democrats believe it is the career elected bureaucrats who are supposed to run the country. We don't think that's the way it's supposed to work. We actually think it's the people who put their name on a ballot who get elected by we the people who make the decisions. And the guy who got 77 million votes on November 5th says he wants Elon Musk working for him, the elected member who heads the executive branch working for him, every bit as much as the federal employees, the people in Treasury who are supposed to have all the answers, or in USAID who be the career officials, working for him to expose stupid things our government is spending money on. And the Democrats are going to attack that guy? Go ahead.
And what's Jordan's latest con? Propping up Elon Musk as some kind of government watchdog. You kidding me? Elon Musk, the biggest government welfare queen in American history, is somehow exposing corruption? That's like putting a fox in charge of the henhouse and then calling it security. Musk has sucked more money from the federal government than every food stamp recipient in the country combined. But according to Jim Jordan and his MAGA sheep, you're the parasite. You, the struggling American trying to pay your bills. You, the veteran fighting to get your VA benefits. You, the family relying on school lunches to make sure your kid doesn't go hungry. You're the problem. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is out here getting billions in subsidies, securing federal contracts, and funneling public money into his own pocket. But sure, let's pretend that he's the hero here. But while Jim Jordan's base is busy parroting his garbage, Jamie Raskin is actually doing his job, cutting through the BS and laying out the real threat to democracy.
Mr. Chairman, in the last 22 days, Donald Trump's billionaire government has taken a wrecking ball to public institutions and the rule of law in America. The agent of chaos is Elon Musk, a, quote, special government employee purportedly working on technological reform. More crucially, he's a big businessman whose floundering Tesla sales in Europe create huge financial pressures for him, according to the business press. Even more crucially, he's a government contractor who collects billions of federal taxpayer dollars every single year and yet has not filed a single employee ethics disclosure form as required by law. He has access not only to computers controlling his own billion-dollar payments from us, the people, but to computers containing his contractor rivals' contract bids, their contracts, their invoices, and their payment systems. Yet he has not shown us a single conflict of interest waiver form for these multiple egregious apparent conflicts of interest. He and his mutant teenage racist computer hackers have taken possession of financial payment systems at the United States Department of Treasury, meaning data access to the private financial records of every American citizen, every member of Congress, every federal prosecutor, every regulator who's supposed to be looking at what his business does, every private lawyer and every federal judge who they're now calling for the impeachment of because they dare to speak up for the rule of law. What could go wrong with this situation?
See, Jim Jordan wants you to believe that Musk is some government whistleblower, but in reality, he's an unelected billionaire who now has more power than Donald Trump himself. That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. Jamie Raskin just laid it all out in brutal detail. Musk has been handed control over financial data, federal contracts, and taxpayer funds with zero accountability. Musk isn't exposing government waste. He's hijacking the government for his own profit. Think about it. This man is a federal contractor who takes in billions in taxpayer money every year. Yet somehow Jim Jordan wants us to believe he's the victim. Spare us. Musk has access to Treasury systems that control contractor bid data. That means he knows exactly what his competitors are offering before deals are even made. That's not capitalism. That's a damn racket.
As they say, oh, well, Elon Musk, he's got all the power of the president. Donald Trump himself could not be doing what Elon Musk is doing in Washington today. He can't evaporate AID. He can't nullify the CFPB. He can't destroy an agency set up by us on a bipartisan basis in Congress. Nobody in the executive branch has that. Yeah, the president is on top of the executive branch, but we're the lawmaking power. And who sorts out the conflict if there's a conflict? The courts do. And what have the courts been saying? They've said a dozen times in 3 weeks that they're violating the Constitution of the United States and the laws passed by Congress. That's what's going on in America today. That's what we should be having a hearing about, not some airy academic conversation about the administrative state, whatever they mean by that. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Wasn't bad enough. He's also controlling access to financial payment systems. This means that this billionaire, this man who has a history of retaliating against journalists, workers, and critics, now has the ability to see and potentially manipulate private financial data. Now let me repeat that. The same guy who banned reporters on Twitter now has access to government-controlled financial systems. But MAGA is too busy whining about the administrative state to care. And speaking of that administrative state that Jim Jordan keeps screaming about, here's what it actually means. Public servants. The career professionals who process veterans' claims, inspect food safety, monitor weather disasters, and investigate corporate fraud. That's the deep state that Jim Jordan wants to destroy. He doesn't want less government. He wants a government run by billionaires for billionaires. And while Musk is busy gutting oversight, Trump's people are actively dismantling agencies that protect Americans. Jamie Raskin pointed out that in just 3 weeks, courts have had to issue 12 injunctions against Trump's corrupt administration for blatantly illegal overreach. They tried to freeze billions in federal grants that had already been allocated by Congress. They tried to dismantle NOAA, USAID, and the CFPB, agencies that keep people alive, regulate financial scams, and respond to disasters. Why? Because billionaires like Musk and Trump don't want regulations, and they sure as hell don't want oversight. This is what real corruption looks like. It's not some fictional crime spree Jordan keeps rambling about. It's not Antifa or woke college kids or transgender cartoons. It's a billionaire cabal rewriting the laws in their favor while the people getting screwed over cheer them on like fools. And Jim Jordan, he's their useful idiot. This man has spent his entire career doing nothing. No legislation, no solutions, just theatrics and rage bait. And while he's busy pretending to fight corruption, Musk and Trump are raiding the Treasury and taking over federal agencies. But hey, let's talk about Sesame Street instead. Right, Jim? Let's talk about veterans. While Jordan is screaming about government waste, Trump's billionaire government is gutting VA programs. They're eliminating PTSD and TBI education programs, resources that help families understand what their loved ones are going through. They just killed 1,000 VA jobs, slashed probationary hires, and left veterans to fend for themselves in a system that's already overwhelmed. That's what small government really means. No help when you need it the most. And it's not just veterans. Red state voters are getting crushed as well. Alabama residents just got hit with a letter saying that their electric bill is going up by $100. Why? Because Trump killed their federal subsidies. These are the same people who voted for him, the same people who thought, oh, he's only coming after black and brown folks. Now it's their turn. And FEMA, it's getting gutted too. West Virginia, Kentucky, underwater. But instead of disaster relief, Trump and Musk are funneling government money into billionaire pockets. And just to top it off, Elon Musk, the biggest government grifter in history, has the audacity to call struggling Americans parasites. This is exactly what they think of you. Trump, Musk, Jim Jordan, they aren't fighting for you. They're robbing you blind. If we don't fight back in 2026, we won't have a country left to fight for. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.